in, but it's $5, so I know you're good for it. Here we go. This is Chronicles draft picks. Chronicles draft picks right here. And I got to tell you, this is the last week that we will have Chronicles draft picks as anything other than like a couple Shopify breaks up. Because we're going to be switching to our two main football breaks with the eBay are certified in Donruss. And I'm not disappointed because that way I don't have to have Excel sheets of names in front of me anymore. Break 1294. Let's rock and roll. Though I do love the product. All right, we have Gregory Rousseau of the Buffalo Bills headed to Harry, followed by Demetric Felton of the Cleveland Browns going to Shannon. Then we have Rondale Moore of the Arizona Cardinals headed to Harry, following that up with Javian Hawkins of the Atlanta Falcons going to Josh. Then we have a filler card followed up by Kwity Paye of the Indianapolis Colts. Kwity Paye of the Indianapolis Colts going to Cynthia. And then we have Dylan Moses of the Jacksonville Jaguars to Kenneth, followed by Kylan Hill of the Green Bay Packers going to T-Man. And then we have Sage Surratt of the Detroit Lions to wrap up that pack going to Gavin. And folks, there is still 3 unsold teams for the next Revolution break. As soon as we get done with the fourth pack, those will be taken off the board, but you can get them for 30% off right now. 30% off right now using the promo code in the chat. We have Terrace Marshall Jr. of the Carolina Panthers going to Josh, followed by Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals headed to David. And then we have Zach Wilson of the New York Jets going to Ryan, followed by an XR Terrace Marshall Jr. of the Carolina Panthers headed to Josh as well. Then we have Chubba Hubbard of the Carolina Panthers as well going to Josh. A rated rookie, Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals going to David. And then we're going to have a red Trey Sermon out of 149 from The Ohio State University, now of the San Francisco 49ers, headed to T-Man. And then our first memorabilia is going to be a full coverage, and that is Mr. Justin Fields. Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears, and that is going to be heading to Haley. Yeah, the red on red right there is pretty nice. Alrighty, folks, 2 packs left to get in on that Revolution break that's upcoming and getting in on that good price with that 30% off. We have Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons headed to Josh. Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons headed to Josh. Then we got Mr. Zach Wilson of the New York Jets to Ryan, followed by Rondale Moore of the Arizona Cardinals going to Harry. Then we have the filler in there, followed up by Devonta Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles going to Tim. Then we got Mr. Trey Sermon out of 149. That's double Trey Sermons out of 149 of the 49ers going to Josh. Jamie Newman of the Philadelphia Eagles headed to Tim. And a select Devonta Smith of the Eagles headed to Tim. And then our next auto is going to be Mr. Darren Hall of the Atlanta Falcons going to Josh. We have Chubba Hubbard of the Carolina Panthers going to Josh right there, followed by Devonta Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles headed to Tim. Cynthia, I would tend to agree with you on that one. Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals going to David. And then Nico Collins of the Houston Texans headed to Brian, followed by Travis Etienne of the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Kenneth. Travis Etienne of the Jaguars going to Kenneth. And then Terrace Marshall Jr. of the Carolina Panthers headed to Josh. Followed up by a Trevor Lawrence Flux edition of the Jaguars headed to Kenneth. Jalen Waddle of the Miami Dolphins with the silver, and that's headed to Shannon. And with that, if you want to get in on Revolution's next break and there's still spots available, it will be via auction. And I feel like via auction always goes higher, but that is where we are so that we don't have the same little mistake that I had here at the beginning. We have Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. Following that up with a Michael Carter of the New York Jets going to Ryan. Then we have Rondale Moore of the Arizona Cardinals headed to Harry. Followed up by Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson of the New York Jets going to Ryan. Zach Wilson of the Jets to Ryan. Kylan Hill of the Green Bay Packers headed to T-Man. Followed by a select Zach Wilson of the Jets going to Ryan as well. Then Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals headed to David. And here we go. It is going to be a Whop Filer of the Minnesota Vikings going to Haley. We got one pack left in this one. Devonta Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles going to Tim, followed by Pat Freiermuth of the Pittsburgh Steelers headed to T-Man. Then we have Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals going to David, followed up by Devonta Smith again of the Philadelphia Eagles headed to Tim. And then we have Mr. Kyle Trask of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to David. Najee Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers headed to T-Man, hoping he doesn't have a big week this week. And then Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys going to Double M. And the last memorabilia / auto is going to be a Anthony Schwartz. Anthony Schwartz of the Cleveland Browns, and that is heading to Shannon. All right, let's run down these featured rookies. Micah Parsons of the Cowboys heading to Double M. Najee Harris of the Steelers heading to T-Man. Kyle Trask of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to David. Devonta Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles headed to Tim. Jamar Chase of the Bengals going to David. Followed up by Devonta Smith again. Jamar Chase again. Zach Wilson of the New York Jets to Ryan. Followed by Zach Wilson again. Jamar Chase of the Bengals. Jalen Waddle of the Miami Dolphins headed to Shannon. Trevor Lawrence of the Jaguars to Kenneth. Travis Etienne of the Jags to Kenneth. Then we have Jamar Chase of the Bengals again. Devonta Smith of the Eagles again. Devonta Smith of the Eagles. The out of 149, Trey Sermon of the 49ers to Josh. Devonta Smith of the Eagles. Zach Wilson of the Jets. Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons heading to Josh. Followed up with a Trey Sermon out of 149 of the 49ers going to Josh. Jamar Chase of the Bengals right there. Followed by Zach Wilson of the Jets. Jamar Chase, Kwity Paye of the Indianapolis Colts to Cynthia. And Gregory Rousseau of the Buffalo Bills going to Harry. And now on to our featured cards. First, with our score autos, we have Anthony Schwartz of the Browns and Whop Filer of the Vikings. And then the Donruss rated rookie auto is Darren Hall of the Atlanta Falcons headed to Josh. And then the big hitter out of this one going to Haley. It is going to be a full coverage Justin Fields from the Ohio State University. And that is going to be heading to Haley. And with that, we are done with break 1294